What's up, 208? Glad you're hanging out with us. It's the last day of August. The last day of August means we are full gear football. We've seen college football, high school football, NFL start next week. We're ready to roll. Today we have MVP, sleepers, and busts. You got to watch this episode. Get into it right now. Lock in, subscribe, like it. Here we go. Let's get started. Gentlemen, welcome to the last day of August. September 1st is tomorrow, and NFL starts next week. I believe we have a Thursday game ready to roll, but Chance, let's start with you. Welcome back. You've been with us a few times, but how are things going today for you?
Oh, man. Hey, first of all, shout out to two of our good friends of the show. Blaze Requa, happy birthday. He's the Dirty 30 today.
Wow,
and Jordan
over the hill.
Jordan Sundquist's birthday is today. And he was texting me all day yesterday about how hyped he was when North Dakota won yesterday. Not NDSU, University of North Dakota. They beat some FBS team, and he was all giddy about that. So shout out to Sundquist, and then Blaze. Happy birthday, little brother.
Happy birthday, you too. Justin, how are you? Football's up for you guys. Had a big win last week. And now we're on to fantasy football.
Yeah, last night I probably took a couple years off my life. Last night it was a crazy game. I'm sure it's on YouTube for a couple things like the last 14 seconds. Give a quick synopsis of it. So we're playing Woods Cross down in Utah, and there's 18 seconds left. They're kicking game winner from the 18-yard line. We block it. We return it 50 yards. And we're at the 31 with 31 seconds left and throw 4 verts at them and score a touchdown and win the game. It was one of the craziest two-play scenario I've ever seen in my life. It was pretty sweet.
Well, right on. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. I mean, this might be a quick episode, but we sure do have a lot to talk about. But we've kind of got what we want to call our bold predictions of these categories of MVP, bust, and sleeper. All right, so we decided to wrap them all up in one episode for you guys. And again, these are guys that we like, dislike, or hey, you keep an eye on for sure. And at the very end, we've got some special, a little more special information for you. Oh gosh, you're right, Justin. We forgot the news. We got to get back to the news too. You should have spoke up on that one. Let me get back to. Let's get back to the. Let's get back.
What's going on?
I'm so excited for this episode. I wanted to jump right in. I'm like, let's go.
I think the biggest thing that I think all fantasy football players were praying for was Micah Parsons to get traded, and it happened. And for the price, it actually makes me kind of angry because Kenny Clark. Don't get me wrong. He's a good defensive tackle. It's just the 2 firsts, which are probably going to be high 20s. The Packers are scary. Like, they might be the number 2 team in the NFC. That NFC North, dude, I feel so bad for Caleb. He's gonna have a tough go. Like, there's just some dogs in that whole thing. I just think the Packers are gonna win this division. I think that's a huge chip to just add to their team, and I think they just got hit for just a really easy price for them. The Adam Thielen trade, awesome to see him get reunited back in Minnesota. It was cool to watch his family post about it, how excited they were to get over to Minnesota. So there's your replacement for Jordan Addison, who is one player I have 0% of shares in. Again, this is one thing that'll hinder that. Maybe a little bit of Hawkinson, but I'm still okay with drafting Hawkinson right now. The Jalen Coker trade is probably at a standstill now. Really tough to see him go on IR. Again, this just really adds on to, I think, my excitement for T-Mac and how good he's going to be to start this year off. I think
Teteroa McMillan. It's come out. He doesn't like T-Mac as a nickname.
I thought he didn't like Tet as a nickname.
I don't know. I've heard he just prefers Teteroa.
I'm calling him T-Mac or Tet. I'll tell you that just because it's simpler.
You want his government name. He wants.
And I'm still going to draft him so he can't be angry with me.
That's what his mother named him. Moms
wants
always get to claim what they want their babies called.
What's that government name?
That's right.
Just anything in that offense, I'm not super high on Xavier Legette. I think the only thing that I really want in that offense is Tyrell McMillan. I think he's going to be dog. Brian Robinson to the 49ers. Obviously, that happens. I think Chance is going to talk about that situation a lot since he's been on his guy, I think, since the draft. And Bill, I think Chance has talked to me about this guy for a long time, and I'm just like, this guy, I don't even know who this guy is. So Chance has been on that train for a long time. And
then he blew up. And everyone knew Bill. And I was like, guys, I got a tweet from like early June. It's like, man, I just check Twitter every day for updates on this guy. And then he blew up, and I was like, thank you.
And then the one that I told you guys was going to happen, Rice gets his games. Like, it was going to happen, whether it was the first 6 or after week 4. I'm not drafting him. I'm staying absolutely away from him. The biggest thing, like, I get the talent, I get all that stuff, but he takes up a bench spot, guys. You can't put him on IR. Like, you can't put him on pub. Like, you can't do any of that. He will hold the roster spot for you. And those first 6 games, like, I get that you can't lose a league in your draft, whatever it is, but, like, man, you can put yourself in a big fat hole to start it off real quick. And then Falcons news. I think Chance texted me like 4 times about this. He's like, another lineman went down, another lineman went down, another lineman went down. So Caleb McGarry went down. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. You guys have to remember that Michael Penix is a lefty, so this is really his blindside blocker. So they're trying to add a few guys. They might move Bergeron over to right tackle, which I don't love. I wish they would go out and trade for Cam Robinson. I think that would be the best for them to go out and try to get somebody. We'll see what happens. It hasn't really fluctuated my rankings on Bijan or Drake or Mooney or any of those guys at all. I think we'll be fine either way. And the one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind with Penix, and Matt has been on this for a little bit, but like, to see how Alabama is performing and like just like all those wide receivers, I think Rome is going to be good, but the Jalen Polks, like all those guys, like they haven't been relevant. Like Alabama looks like a shell of themselves. And like, I think we all remember that Texas-Washington game. Probably one of the funnest quarterback films I've ever watched, of him just throwing ropes, like throwing deep posts. Like someone had to be responsible for that offense. And like the more and more and more we go, it seems like it might be Penix. So just be on the lookout for that. I have my high hopes for Penix. The right tackle situation scares me a little bit. I hope he figured it out. But if he was that much of a part of that great of a national championship participant team, like that's scary.
Oh, we lost a chance there.
Huh?
Yeah, go get Chance. Go get.
There we go.
Okay. I just want to just double check if Michael Penix ends up being Jameson Winston.
Pick wise, like 30-30. Not happy.
Not happy.
No.
But for fantasy, plenty happy. Yeah. Right? And again, I think that's his floor, right? I think Penix's floor is Jameson Winston.
What's his ceiling to you then?
I mean, I think his ceiling could be much higher. I've always been scared of him because of injuries. He's just been
100%
an injured quarterback, and I'd hate to see him get derailed by that. But he has so much potential, and he's so much fun. I think real world quarterback, you'd be sad if he was Jameis Winston. But I think he could be Jameis Winston in fantasy, and if that's the case, he's a steal.
Penix is and he's not on my radar, any of our stuff here, but Penix will be a top 12 wide receiver. That will be minimum this year. Mark my words, August 31st, top 12. And you can get him super, super late. He is going sometimes undrafted in leagues.
Yeah, undrafted in some leagues, yeah.
So, cool. I do want to bring up one thing on the Parsons thing. And this is just an FYI for those that play fantasy football with defenses. Currently, Green Bay is around that 10, 11, 12. You now add Parsons. I think he now is a top. That defense is now a top 10. Fairly easy. That division is crazy. Chance, they're still not as good as the Denver Broncos, but they're going to be a very good defense. So, all right, well, let's get into we're gonna go round 2 here. Let's get into our meat and potatoes here. MVP, bust, sleeper. These are our boldish predictions, helping you gonna win your fantasy league this year. Okay, take 2. Now understand your MVP, your bust, and sleeper. MVP for us in general was really just looking at not necessarily the league MVP, but maybe more MVP for your team or what your right. It's like, hey, this is going to win me a championship. So understand that as we go through these. So we're going to start off with a bust.
Ooh, we're starting off bad.
We're going to start off right into it. You know, you got the angry face up there because you drafted them, your high hopes, and here we go. And we're going to start off with. In the order it's going to go, Justin, myself, and Chance every time. So, Justin, you were taking Achane, who was a first round, later than second round for a lot of guys, and you're going, wow, why are you got bust for Achane?
Preach, Lineberry, preach to the people.
I don't want to be that guy because I am victim late, which is Chance always alludes to that. Just like I am so soft tissue injuries scare the crap out of me, and like. Me and Chance got on a phone call, I think last week, and we were talking about Ollie. It's just like all these running backs and like the value of running back in the last draft. Like there was just really good backs going super late. Whether I think in most drafts, Travion, Quentin Judkins, Caleb Johnson, all might be first round guys, just depending on the situation. But there were just so many good running backs. So many guys got pushed down, and I think a lot of people forgot what Ollie Gordon was. At Oklahoma State. Like he's a Doak Walker award winner, and if you just go back like the last 8 years, maybe one of you guys could look up like the past 8 years of Doak Walker winners. So Genty's one of them. Bijan is one of them.
Jonathan Taylor twice.
Yeah, JT won it twice. There's only a few guys that are garbage in that weren't drafted. Maybe Chance, you have the list right now.
I'm pulling it up. It was what's his name? Love out of Stanford.
Bryce Love. He went to the Commanders. But it's Ollie Gordon's a dude. I think he might have had some injury concerns. Maybe they changed some stuff with Oklahoma State, but he looked like a real threat. I feel like before last year, he was that Ashton Genty. He was the bona fide one. I felt like him and Travion were probably the ones coming into that season. It just feels like every year with Achane, it'll continue to be this way where some type of injury is going to keep popping up, and it's never like a broken finger or whatever. It always seems to be with something that is his moneymaker, which is his speed, right? Chance, do you have those right now?
I do have them.
All right, let's name them off. Let's hear what they are.
The last couple guys: Ashton Genty, Ollie Gordon, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Walker, Najee Harris, Jonathan Taylor twice, and then you have Bryce Love for Stanford and Deonta Foreman for Texas, and before that, Derrick Henry and Melvin Gordon. So, pretty good list.
Yeah, a lot of 1,000-yard guys on that list, right? So, again, Ollie Gordon's draft stock was hit with a couple of things. I think he ran a pretty slow 40.
He ran a 4.6.
Yeah, which is not great. Like it's still fast. Like you're still gonna break away from some guys. I think his football speed might be a little different than his testing speed. He's big. Jalen Wright seems to have a lot of issues as well. This whole coaching regime just seems to be weird. Like, I don't think Jalen Wright fits in a lot of offenses, and I don't think Devon will fit in a lot of offenses if McDaniels is out by week 5, which I think is a very realistic possibility. Ollie Gordon is your traditional back. The touchdown regression, the efficiency regression, I think will continue to go down. It seems like touchdowns are a very volatile stat when it comes to Achane. I think they're really going to split the backfield with a 3-headed monster with Jalen, with Ollie, with Devon Achane, whichever one's healthy. Like, I don't know if this so much is a puff piece on Devon Achane being a bad back, but Ollie Gordon might be a guy.
Do you know the most common injury is the result of strained calf or calf strain?
Probably an ACL.
It's a popped Achilles.
It was Achilles tendon.
Calf strains typically lead to blown Achilles if not rehabbed correctly or rested the right way. So that's what Devon Achane might have. Like that's a realistic possibility if they bring him back too early.
Yeah, and again, I don't think the Dolphins are going to be a good team. by any means. Maybe does that kind of bodes well in A-Chain's favor, where he is a pass catching back. But again, it just seems like they're going to use 3 backs quite a bit. The Tua factor always scares the crap out of me. When is he going to take that next big hit? How long is he going to be out? Zach Wilson is their backup quarterback right now. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's where I'm at. I have 0% shares advantage. I have not drafted him. Even if he failed to, like, again, like Matt always says, like, stay water, like maybe the 4th or 5th round I might take him, but I am not touching him within the first 3 or 4 rounds. Like, and he's never going to fall to that round ever. Like, it's never going to happen under draft, or he's going to fall that far for me or in anybody else's drafts. Whether you're an 8-man or 12 or whatever it is, it just won't happen. Like, he's a 2nd round back for the most part. So I'm super out on him. I think he is a bad bet this year.
Yeah, I think just going around, Justin, this is a question for you. A-Chan's going around that 16th, right? So round 2, sometimes early round 1, depending on who's in your league. But Bucky, Chase Brown going behind him, Henderson going behind him. So just understand there. So
yeah, I would take most of the rookies over him. So I would take Amarian over him. I would take Travion over him. Caleb Johnson's almost like a flip for me at that rate. So.
Fair enough. Moving on to number 2. This would be me. I'm sticking with the Dolphins.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill to me he's got the OLD, right? He's got the OLD disease. He's old for
that was a shot at Blaze
the NFL. Oof. He is not. Yeah, he is not connecting with the other receivers. Waddle's coming out and said, they don't get along. He told A-Chan, you're not a 3-down back. Just things don't look right in that offense. He is going at 31, which means you got to spend a 2nd rounder, 3rd rounder to get him. There's no way I'm spending that. He's going to have a massive fall off. There's no value here. And Justin just kind of talked about it a little bit. Tua's that guy. They're going to try to get the ball out quick in people's hands. I don't think Zach Wilson is going to be. I think it's going to be Ewers will be the backup there, and when push comes to shove. But that's a rookie quarterback. I'm not interested in it. To me, this is a no-brainer, and I see head nods from both of you. Stay away from Tyreek Hill. I don't think any of us have him on any of our teams that we've drafted this year. Chance, your thoughts as well.
I mean, I think Tyreek is hard. I mean, I can totally see this world where he's a bust, and I think it's totally fair. My challenge is he also could be the wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could. I mean, he has had that in his past, and I know that he's old, but like, he could still finish as a wide receiver 1 if he's used the way he's been used, and if we're wrong about him being old. So, but the variance in that is too much for me to want to take him. I would agree. Like, I don't think he's going to, I think it's more likely that he doesn't do that than he does. The hard part about it is I think he still could. There's a world I could see where he does.
Yep. I'm going to avoid him at all costs. I like my other players much, much better. Certainly understand where you're coming from, Chance. But speaking of Chance, let's get to yours, Chance.
You've
got a big one here. You're going to push a lot of people away here, but you got
there's a knife. There's a knife. He traded it to me. Give him that knife in there. Get that knife in there, baby.
Here's the deal. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is probably one of the most talented running backs in the NFL, right? Absolutely incredibly talented. But here's what I struggle with Gibbs. Gibbs is going 1st round in drafts, right? I mean, if somebody were to take him as the 1st RB, I don't think anyone would bat their eyes if somebody took him over Bijan, right? And I think a lot of people look at him and say, oh, Jahmyr Gibbs could easily finish as the RB1 this year. I struggle with Jahmyr Gibbs, and this is just me professing online to the world that I think the Lions are going to take a massive step back this year. 40% of their offensive line from last year is gone. 40% of that great offensive line is gone. Okay. You had the retirement of their center. You had one of their guards go in free agency. They had another guard just get injured. Like, they don't have the depth there that they had. The other thing that Jahmyr Gibbs has working against him is, who's his OC? Is it Ben Johnson, who's been a stud for the last bunch of years? No, it's not. And again, I love Dan Campbell. I trust Dan Campbell to run a good team, but to think that they're just going to be able to manufacture the offense that Ben Johnson ran specifically for the Lions, I think that's unrealistic. Ben Johnson is crazy with how he game plans. I mean, he's the kind of guy. I listened to a podcast. They were talking about Ben Johnson planning for games where he would watch film Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of defenses and would come on Thursday with a custom game plan for everyone and say, these are the things we're going to do to hurt this defense that he'd been brewing up for 3 days. That's gone. So you have a lesser offensive line. You have the absence of Ben Johnson. And I think the Lions have told us over and over and over again, they like David Montgomery. They do. And the numbers, Jahmyr Gibbs with David Montgomery, still really productive. He is still totally, I mean, he averages 18 fantasy points a game with David Montgomery. Still pretty good. But if you're drafting Gibbs to be that number one guy, I think there's, to me, I think it's more likely than not that that's a harder thing to reach than what everyone's thinking. He to me is my bust. I think that he is going to underperform for where people draft him this year, you know? And that's just, again, it's just my lack of faith in the Detroit offense and believing that their train left the station and they missed it by losing to Washington last year. And I think you're going to see a serious regression from them. I still love him. I still think he is a top 5 running back in the league on his own terms. For fantasy, there are enough question marks to me that I feel people are overlooking when it comes to him and they just say, oh, he's just so explosive and so talented. Yeah, but he was also in a great system. And he was in a system that really highlighted him. I don't know.
Could you tell me all the backs you would take in front of him right now?
All the backs I would take in front of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Correct.
I would take Bijan, but I have my own issues. I have my own reservations with Bijan, as well. Everyone talks about Saquon's regression from 800 touches last year or whatever stupid amount he had. Bijan only had 13 fewer touches than Saquon, and nobody talks about that, about how hard it is to regress. I take Bijan. I would take Saquon over Jahmyr Gibbs. I would take Christian McCaffrey over Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that's the challenge. I always am a wide receiver. Huh?
Say his name. Say the other one's name too.
Derrick Henry? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Say the other one's name.
Ashton Genty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take Ashton Genty over Jahmyr Gibbs.
There it is. That's what I wanted to hear.
I think what I'm hearing you say, Chance, is you're going to take a wide receiver first round and then really try to stack the behind that running back. Is that correct?
That's typically what I do in my drafts. I prefer to take those wide receivers that are easier to trust for me than running backs. And again, this is where you put it out there, and I could 100% look like a fool at the end of the season when Jahmyr Gibbs is the RB1, and that's okay. But I don't hear anyone saying the things that aren't said about Jahmyr Gibbs and his situation. Nobody's saying these things. And so it's what makes me nervous. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I think you can spin this both ways. I 100% agree with you. I'm thinking I actually traded Gibbs in a dynasty league because of this. Justin was over there going, "What? You did what?" And I tend to agree with Chance. Definitely regression. But I also could see, and I'm hearing some stuff out of Detroit from certain media, that they wanted to give Gibbs the ball more last year, and it was Ben Johnson that did not want to do it. And now he is gone, and now they want to feed Gibbs, which makes me think it's a little more traditional, a little less gimmicky, what Ben Johnson had, dialing up these creative plays and really going to, okay, less JMO, less Monty, more Gibbs, and more St. Brown. So it's going to be very interesting, and it's all going to hinge on the quarterback play there with Goff. But I could see it going the other way as well. But I tend to agree with you, Chance. I'm kind of off the Gibbs train.
And again, I know it's a crazy thing, but I'm going to throw this out there, and everyone's going to hate me. What if Jahmyr Gibbs this year is Travis Etienne from a couple years ago? where Travis Etienne was going super high in drafts. Everyone's like, man, he showed out, he balled out, he's great system, great quarterback. And then
the change
fell on his face. I think that there's a world where somebody's going to have to be a Travis Etienne. Crazier things have happened in fantasy.
Agreed. Let's get on to the next one. Our MVPs. Again, this is the MVP for your league and your team, not overall fantasy. But Justin, again, you're going to tee us off here. You have Hendy from New England. Give us your thoughts.
Gosh, Chance was so mad at me for this. Oh, man. Travion Henderson, man. It's going to be so funny when the coaching staff is just like, oh, he's significantly better than Stevenson. And like everything. It's just going to be funny when they come to that realization because Stevenson's going to get like 15 carries week 1. They're like, what are we doing? I just think they're going to be like, this guy sucks. Travion Henderson's that guy. So we're just going to play him all the snaps. Patriots running backs were awful. Ramondre loves to fumble the ball. I just don't see in a world where you can be like, yeah, let's take him off. Let's get Ramondre in there. Like, I just don't see the world it's going to happen. Whether it is protecting Drake May, your golden child in that franchise. Like, that is supposed to be the franchise. He is very good at what he does, blocking, catches the ball well. He is a big play waiting to happen. Like, they kept bringing it up during the Texas OSU game yesterday where the changing play in that game where they were backed up. I think it was right before halftime, and they could have run out the clock, but they just threw a little screen pass to Travion. He took it 90 yards for a touchdown. He is just such a difference maker. He is so good. He had a crazy breakout as a freshman. Again, he had a little regression as a sophomore. That might have been because of injuries, all that stuff. It's nice to have OC now, at least a comparable, what's the word I want to use? A correct coaching staff. Yeah, no, just like a correct coaching staff. Like Jerod Mayo and that experience last year was awful. Like they were just poorly coached. So you have
a competent coach.
Competent. There we go. We have Josh McDaniels running it. We all know he's a terrible head coach, but he's a good OC. Yeah, Mike Vrabel, very good head coach. I think he is very underrated in what he does. I just think this is a very good year to own a lot of things in the Patriots offense. Again, me, Chance have talked a lot about this, talking about Pat Bryant, Kyle Williams exchange, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But he's not getting drafted high. He's like 4th or 5th round in some of my leagues, and I just reach for him, and people get pissed off. They're like, that was a reach. And I'm like, but you're mad about it. Like, you're mad that I took him in the 3rd round. And I've gotten so many angry text messages about it. Matt was in my live draft with me, and people were pissed. And I'm like, listen, if you're that mad about it, then it's not a reach. Like, I'm okay with taking him in the 3rd round. Like, I'm totally content.
I agree with you, Justin. What I have seen, and this is people that understand what Henderson is, he will either fall to the end of the 4th, right, ish, or you have to pick him, well, end of the 3rd, I probably should say, end of the 3rd, early 4th. But if you know about him, you know that's going to be the case. He's not going to come back around to you, so I see him going early 3rd. Very reasonable. Now, this is crazy because his ADP is skyrocketed. You could get him in before all of everything happened. It was like 6th, 7th round, and now you got to get him in 2 or basically 3, 4. But great call out on your MVP.
There has not been a lot of guys, I think, in my drafting career where I'm just like, I'm taking him 2 rounds before. I literally don't care. It's been him and Ibuka. I'm just like, I'm forcing this. I literally do not care what ADP is with those 2 particular players. Like, I know, like when I do my mock drafts, I'm like, all right, this is where he is. Yeah. I'm just going to take it. Like, I've taken Ibuka in the 5th, in the 6th. Like, I just don't care because I just trust that they're going to be good players. And I hate Ohio State. Just so we're clear, I do not like that college. I hate everything about that program. But these 2 guys, it sucks that they're both OSU dudes, but they're going to be really good at football.
Don't care.
Did you guys hear the interview that Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson did for the Patriots, where they're both like, they were interviewing together, Ramondre and Gibson, and they're like, yeah, you know, we're like so bought in on a committee backfield. You know, like we just think it's really important to be a committee backfield. And to me, I'm just hearing them say,
oh, we lost a chance.
Yeah, we lost a chance.
Now you're on mute again.
They're begging for their job. Please keep me relevant is what they're saying. Please keep me relevant. Don't leave without me. Well, that's so sure. I have gotten a ton of shares of Henderson as well. I have him in nearly all my leagues. It's like Chance jumped off for a minute, but yeah, just kind of talking about him.
I think him and Ibuka are probably my highest percentage of players in redraft leagues that I had just went after like a crazy person. And I definitely have gotten a lot of angry text messages about it where I'm just like, then you should have took him. I don't know what to tell you.
Me too. The third one I'd have in there is Travis Hunter. I seem to reach for him as well. So let's go. Let's get on to the mine here. I got Drake London. Drake London is. I am all on Drake London. I have been forever. I've been beating the drum on this thing forever and ever and ever and ever. Like, looks like Chance is back. Let's get him back to the stage.
Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are.
Let's wrap up this Henderson thing real quick. Chance, what were you saying about it?
Again, I just think it's funny that those two backs were like, hey, we understand that we're going to be a committee behind Henderson. And they got out in front of it early and said, I think it's really good to be a part of a committee. Okay, guys. Okay.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, as I was saying, London is my guy. I've been beating the drum on London. You can get him in the end of round 1. A lot of times he goes round 2, sometimes even towards the middle. Look, I think London, I'm going to put it out there right now. London will beat JJ and St. Brown. He will have more points than them by the end of the season.
My gosh.
Wow.
He is. Justin's like, oh my gosh, don't do that to me. I'm telling you guys, they are going to feed him the ball. He's over and over and over. And I know they have Mooney, and I know Pitts is irrelevant. Don't even draft Pitts this year. Let your teammates draft Pitts. He's going to be tradable at the end of this year. He's begged for everything, and he's terrible. He's a great football player, but he's terrible at fantasy football. So London is your guy. To me, he will be my MVP. I have him in nearly every single league. Because I've been fortunate enough to draft at the end of round 1. It seems like every league. But London, I love him. I can't get enough of him. He seems to fit that mold. I've been able to get Neighbors London sometimes. Sometimes I've been able to get Collins in London. So I love those stacks. But London is my guy. I think he will soar this year. Anybody want to make fun of me? And that's okay if you do.
No, I just laugh because it's like Lineberry has been so hurt for so many years that the back-to-back top 10 Falcons specialty skill player guys haven't produced in the way that he would hope a bad team could help them produce. And it could happen this year, and he just doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know if his heart could handle, he doesn't want to let himself hope, but you got to hope. You got to hope, Lineberry.
Yeah, fair enough. Chance, let's get to your MVP. I actually like this pick. Give us Kittle. What are your thoughts on Kittle?
Guys, I'm just so high on. I've always been diamond in the rough tight end drafter. I love to just like find late round tight ends, the dirty, nasty tight ends that don't matter because if you don't have a top guy, tight ends have always sucked. Not this year. This year, I'm going to go get George Kittle everywhere I can. Okay. The wide receiving room in San Francisco is so incredibly bad. It's so tough. Ricky Pearsall. Okay, good. I love him later too. But, Juwan Jennings, calf / contract issues, right? Russell Gage. They have Russell Gage.
Right now,
you're still hurt.
Yeah, Super Bowl Falcon Russell Gage, baby.
Demarcus Robinson is suspended. Even they had another one of their players. Why can I not find his name on here?
It's Jacob Cowling.
Jacob Cowling was supposed to be good. He's hurt. Like, they just don't have anyone. And I think that when you lose depth at the wide receiver position and you have a player like George Kittle, who they paid, I think Brock Purdy is going to feed him the ball. And I mean, I know there are a ton of other great tight ends out there. I took Kittle in a draft before Brock Bowers.
Ooh.
I took him in a draft before Brock Bowers because that's how much I believe in George Kittle, that he could absolutely kill it. And I look at the Niners schedule. The Niners have the easiest schedule in the NFL, right? And I just think that there's such a path for Kittle to be so reliant, so relevant. in an offense with a scheme that I trust and a quarterback who can distribute the ball with a lack of depth. There's no way he's not going to be an MVP at the end of the season. And I've worked a lot of drafts where I will build them, sometimes it's running back, Kittle, and a couple of values at wide receiver. After that, I've worked some drafts where you go wide receiver 1, RB1, and then Kittle your tight end 1, and fill out your drafts after. You have to take him in the 3rd. He's a 3rd round pick. And if he falls past that, oh my gosh, that's amazing for you. But I think he is absolutely worth a late 3rd, early 4th if you can get him there. Like, he's a guy I'll just take because I know I can set it and forget it.
Yeah, I love it. I love the pick. I don't know that I like him over Brock Bowers because that means you would have had to take him super early unless Brock Bowers fell. But certainly great value there. Let's get on to our next one here. These are value picks, right? These are ones that are on sale. They're probably a little too deep down the ADP and who we like. Justin, we're going to have you kick it off. You like Prescott, which I also like him a lot. Give us your thoughts.
I feel like I've been a Dak stan on this podcast for the past 2 years, and I just feel like he gets so much shade. I get he plays for the Cowboys. We all feel about how we all feel about the Cowboys. We probably all don't like him, but again, with the news of the Micah Parsons trade, this basically puts this more to my favor. They are going to throw the ball a ton. They have to play very tough teams, and the Eagles, the Commanders, I think the Giants will be somewhat improved. I think they will be in a lot of high-scoring games. Again, when he is not hurt, he finishes as a quarterback 5, like a top 5 quarterback, super easy. Right now, he's going like as a quarterback 9 or 10 right now. He's still pretty low. Usually, I try to target him like 8th and 9th round. That's usually I go. He's the quarterback 10, 84 overall in half PPR leagues. So he's right next to Kyler Murray right now. So I will take that every day of the week. He has CeeDee Lamb, who is a first-round pick. He has Chance's guy in George Pickens. Jake Ferguson, who a guy Matt really loves. He just got paid a ton of money. He comes into a new offense. I don't know how I feel about Schottenheimer, but he does coach effective pass-heavy offenses. Their running backs are booty cheeks, even though it is Javonte, and I still want Javonte to be a thing, but I don't know if it will be. Again, I know they're just going to throw the ball a ton, and his ADP is an absolute steal where you can wait and get the production of Joe Burrow. Really close. I think they're going to be really close in scoring between him and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is usually a 4th or 5th round pick.
Jance, anything to add?
No, I mean, I think that, really early on when the Micah Parsons stuff was rumbling, Lineberry and I had a text back and forth. It's like, I just want Micah Parsons to go so that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens can take off. And it's like so many of these wide receiver rooms, that we talk about where we're like, oh man, they should have 2 stud wide receivers like Jacksonville, right? Like everyone's banking on Travis Hunter to be good and Brian Thomas Jr., in order for them to be good, that would make Trevor Lawrence good. It's the same logic for Dak Prescott, and he's in that same range. Like he has won so many people fantasy football leagues in the past by blowing up at the end of the season when the Cowboys are trying to make a push. And I could totally see that happening again, where he just absolutely saves your team and keeps you afloat at a quarterback, and he's dirt cheap. I love this pick.
Yep. I'll add 2 quick things here. Odd years, Dak does really well. Go look at the stats. He does really well in odd years. And I think when I have done this, Dallas, maybe outside of Atlanta, is the easiest stack I can get. If I get Lamb, maybe I can get Pickens, and I can get Prescott later. It's a super easy stack. I don't have to force anything. It'll come naturally. I can get the same thing with London and Penix if I so choose to want it. So keep that in the back of your mind. Mike Ibuka.
Yes.
I love Ibuka. He is a super steal. Look, I believe he could be. This is Super Bowl top 10 wide receiver.
Here we go.
I love it. I love it. I love him. There's Godwin's out, and I believe. Let me check here real fast. I currently
McMillan
in half PPR. McMillan is injured as well. Thank you, Justin, for that.
He's on the 8-week IR. And K. Dotton is hurt as too, guys. Like there's significant dudes that are hurt in this offense. He is
currently going 82, wide receiver 37. This is why Justin was saying earlier, he's reaching for Ibuka, and he was still reaching with value there. I'm telling you, next year we will be saying, oh my gosh, we got to get Ibuka, right? Because of that offense. Dude, he is probably the most pro-ready wide receiver. He might be the next BTJ. He might be our BTJ this year. I love him, guys. Get him. If you got him as your third wide receiver or second wide receiver, you're doing awesome. Yep. So he is an absolute steal. Justin, anything to add? I know you love him as well.
Baker's a stud. I think Baker's one of the most underrated. I think he is one of the most underrated players in the NFL. I think he'll have some regression. The touchdowns were just kind of wacky. Again, the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit is they did lose Tristan Wirfs. They said they're not putting him on IR. I don't know if he's going to miss the first game or not. I hope he does because they play the Falcons first game. But that should make you happy because they play the Falcons the first game. The Falcons have a terrible defense. I just like even if Chris Godwin comes back, like Jalen McMillan's not coming back till week 9, guys. Like he's on long-term IR. He's not coming back. K. Dotton might not play the first game. Like Ibuka might explode right away. And guess what? He's always going to get the number 2 corner. So, like, if they ever play Denver, guess who he's never going to go against? Surtain. Mm-hmm. If they ever play the Patriots, they're never going to go Christian Gonzalez. Like, Mike Evans will continue to hold that crown as he should. But, like, he will always have a favorable matchup. And you know they're going to game plan the crap out of him. Like, the one thing I one of my favorite follows is Coach Speak Index, like, on Twitter. It's so good. Like, it's such an undervalued resource on X. But Baker made this comment that I think you have to play football to kind of understand it, specifically if you play wide receiver. Is his feet are on the ground when he catches the ball. So that means he runs. Like, it's a very fluid pace. It is very, very favorable to get yards after catch. There's no pause in catching. There's no jumping in catching. He is a hands catcher that will have both his feet on the ground when he catches the balls and goes upfield. It is a very underrated skill. It is very hard to do as a receiver at any level. You see a lot of pros that don't do it, but the fact that Baker notices that right away, meaning he is doing it a lot, and he's going to I'm just so high on him. I think he's going to ball out.
Yep, I have him in nearly, I said, all my leagues. Chance, real briefly on him, and then we'll get to yours.
No, man, I couldn't agree more. I think he's such a stud, and he's just so, like you said, so pro-ready. He is... I mean, the hype on him is real, and the way in which he led Ohio State in so many metrics while being on a team with JSN and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, the dude's been legit for a long time, and he's going to show up and still be legit.
Yep, agreed. Not to mention, if we get an injury out of that wide receiver group, he's very possible could be the wide receiver 1. So keep that in mind. Moving on here, DK Metcalf. DK coming out.
I'm so excited to hear this. I'm so excited.
I am too. I want to hear what Chance's thoughts are, and I think we should probably pull up where he's currently being drafted. While I look that up, Chance, give us your take.
Okay, I'll wait for you to pull up where he's at. I'm excited for you to pull up. Here's one of my biggest things.
48 overall. 48 overall, 20th wide receiver.
20th wide receiver. Okay, so he's being drafted as the 20th wide receiver. Okay, just real quick, it's very similar to my George Kittle take, right? Names of wide receivers in the Steelers wide receiver room include Scotty Miller, Ben Skoranek, Roman Wilson, and Calvin Austin III. That's who he's playing with. That's the other 4 receivers in this receiving room. Now, at wide receiver 20 in value, okay? Last year, I don't think a lot of people realize Garrett Wilson, pretty effective for fantasy. He finished as the wide receiver 11 with 1,104 yards, 7 touchdowns. Okay, he had 101 receptions. That was Garrett Wilson, whose quarterback was, it was Aaron Rodgers. That's right. Who DK's quarterback is now. Now, I can totally understand. There are people that are split 50-50. Aaron Rodgers is old. Aaron Rodgers is bad. Aaron Rodgers is washed. Aaron Rodgers is also 1 year more removed from his injury, and he is no less of a cerebral quarterback than he's ever been. So to me, I look at DK Metcalf, who is built to be that guy to just absolutely catch all of the balls that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw at him. He has, if he finishes with similar stats to Garrett Wilson and is wide receiver 11, that makes him a wide receiver 1, and you're getting him at wide receiver 20 value. I have no problem in my leagues having him as my wide receiver 1 because I believe he can finish there, because that's all Aaron Rodgers has done with wide receivers in his career. Now, okay, you don't believe in Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Let's look at Mike Tomlin, the coach. All Mike Tomlin has done is make wide receivers and offenses succeed. Like, he's just a winning coach. And I know that there's fears of Arthur Smith. Who do you think has a bigger personality, Arthur Smith or Aaron Rodgers? I think when push comes to shove, Aaron Rodgers is going to say, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to win. And I don't think Arthur Smith is going to be the guy to stand in his way to do that. Mike Tomlin brought Aaron Rodgers in and will let him run that offense in a way that he feels comfortable. And DK is his guy. So for me, again, it's risky. I get it. But if I can get a wide receiver 1 and I don't have to pay wide receiver 1 price for that, that is totally a value to me. And I will take him where he's going all day long, because I think there's so much value in what he could be and who he is. And DK's still young. He's still explosive. He's still a huge, big body receiver who can catch all the balls. I know we saw a dip in what he did last year, but he also suffered an injury last year in Seattle that really brought him down. And he was playing with JSN, who we know is a certified dog, right? Now wide receiver 1. He's not playing with anything like that here. But if you want to be afraid of Jonnu Smith or Roman Wilson or Calvin Austin, go ahead. Be afraid. I'll take your DK Metcalf shares, and I will laugh all the way to the bank when he finishes as a wide receiver 1.
Fair enough. Justin, anything to add on the DK Metcalf take?
I just want to keep trade cut this real quick.
Okay.
You ready for these 3 names? I think this is going to tug at your heartstrings too. So DK.
Yeah.
Tetaroa.
Okay.
Or Pickens. Tell me keep trade.
Keep trade cut. Okay. My keep trade cut with this, based on the teams, who they are and what I think they are, is going to be keep DK. And this is for redraft, right?
Correct.
Okay. Probably keep DK, trade Tet, cut Pickens.
Ooh. How about you, Matt?
I'm trading Metcalf.
He's keeping T-Mac for sure.
Yeah.
You guys have so much trust in Bryce Young. You guys have a lot of trust.
I do like Bryce Young for sure. So fair enough. Let's get on to our last one here before we get into some other stuff here. But these are our deep sleepers, guys you really, really need to pay attention to. And some of these maybe even your waiver wire guys for week 1, right? So understand that. Justin, let's get out there. You like Charbonnet, who I'm a fan of too. Give us your thoughts.
This is who I was mad you picked. It was Henderson. Charbonnet was going to be my sleeper.
My bad.
Got him in the dock first.
I won't talk about that fast. I won't talk about it for that long. I think the biggest thing is Ken Walker gets hurt a lot. I think he is really a trade candidate with Brees, with Travis Etienne. I think he can handle it by himself. The coaching change, the scheme change is better for him with Kubiak coming over from the Shanahan tree. I think he has a very specific running back he wants. Again, he does not cost anything. Maybe Matt can look up his ADP real quick, but he's usually like my RB4, RB5 that I take a lot in late drafts. And just to kind of wrap it up, Coach Speak Index again coming in clutch. When McDonald came out, who is the Seahawks head coach, they asked him what were the 2 biggest things that are the most important for a running back, and he said intelligence and availability. And then he went off on a whole tangent about Charbonnet and his just how smart he is when it comes to being a running back. Was that a dig? Was that a dig, Ken Walker? I don't know, but it seems like there is an agenda a little bit with pushing Charbonnet to the forefront. Again, Ken Walker always seems to be dealing with something, which is a little stressful. So, Chance, what do you got that you're so mad about?
No, I'm just mad because I think he's a stud. When Charbonnet came out of UCLA, I've always been a huge fan of his. I was so mad when he went to Seattle because Ken Walker is a Michigan State Spartan. I loved watching him. And then my favorite running back in the next class goes right behind him in that same offense. And I just watch, like, that Kubiak system is so friendly to running backs. And the way that they block, that outside zone scheme that the Kubiaks run, it's so good for running backs. And Charbonnet is smooth, trustworthy, smart. He's got great hands. He's an explosive runner. Like, I just think there's a world where even outside of injuries, he is splitting 50-50 with Ken Walker and as productive as Walker is. I think he's steadier. I love the big game play of Ken Walker. I think Charbonnet is just as steady Eddie with all the upside of being explosive and being a pass catcher.
And I forgot to mention, Zabel looks like a dude. I totally forgot about him.
Such a dude.
He looks scary at guard. And you know they're going to run off his butt. So that's one thing I forgot. I love watching guards just blow linebackers up, and he's really good at it.
So really briefly here, he is currently running back 34, being drafted at 100 overall.
Yep.
Understand this. If hopefully you've been following us because we've already told you this. But if you were to take Charbonnet and Walker last year, combine them because that Walker missed time, they would have been a top 7 running back. So my strategy has been, and I'm so glad that you did this, Justin, put Charbonnet on there. Let somebody else draft Walker. I'm picking up Charbonnet later because I'm almost convinced Charbonnet will be that number 1 running back, either due to injury or even possibly a trade. I have been doing that over and over with Charbonnet. I just think it's a fantastic play, and it doesn't cost me much. So.
Yeah. My 2 targets when I get to that late are usually Javonte and Zach Charbonnet. If I feel like my running back room is really, really good, usually I take Charbonnet just on the bet. If I feel like my running back room just needs a starter, I usually draft Javonte. So that's where I go in the very late rounds.
Very good. Moving on to my pick here. And I know Chance was like, oh, good. I'm glad somebody, because he was going to pick this guy. But I love Ollie Gordon. This one's pretty easy. From the very, very beginning, you heard Justin talk about just being HN being a bust. He's dealing with calf injury. Wright, I think, just had surgery or going to have surgery, and he's going to be out a little bit. Ollie Gordon runs a 4.6, and everybody freaked out. I think he fits this offense very well. If minimum, he will get a lot of goal line work, and he's an easy pick with potential RB1 upside. We'll see what happens in that offense. We're going to see some changes, but I think he's an absolute steal. I'm going to let Chance talk about him too, because I know he wants to bring in some stuff while I look up his ADP.
Me and Matt both took chances, guys.
Yeah,
I know we did. Yes,
it's okay. There's a lot to go around.
Hey, talk about your trade in our league.
Okay, so in a league that we're all in a fantasy league that we've, I guess I would call it our podcast league, right? I just traded for Ollie Gordon. I traded Ken Walker for Ollie Gordon and 2026 second.
Yep.
So I got a second and Ollie Gordon for Ken Walker. And again, this goes back to being really high on Zach Charbonnet, struggling with what Walker has done. And I just believe in Ollie Gordon. And here's one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of Ollie Gordon. Again, I know Devon Achane is young, and I know he's explosive. But while Devon Achane was still on the Dolphins, there was a running back who wore number 31, who had 1,012 rushing yards on 209 attempts with 18 touchdowns. Do you guys remember who that was?
I know who it is.
Yeah.
It's Raheem Mostert. And
it's Mostert, yep.
And again, I think you look at the way in which Mike McDaniel used those multiple running backs that year. I don't see why Ollie Gordon, and again, the 18 touchdowns was crazy. But I think Tyreek, no lies detected when Tyreek said A-Chain's not a goal line back. He's not. Why wouldn't they not? Why would they not allow Gordon to fill the shoes of a running back that they had when they were very, very efficient as an offense in Raheem Mostert? That's what I love about Gordon. I think he could 100% fill that role. And even if he fills that role and gets half the touchdowns, even if he has 1,000 yards and 9, what an absolute steal.
I do feel like that's the type of running back they're missing out of that offense as well.
Totally.
Doesn't have to be all speed all the time. Need a little ground and pound guy that can get some things done.
And we've seen that. We've already seen that running back work in that offense with that.
Yep. We got Chance exploded out of my ears here.
He did.
But that's okay. Just so everybody knows that 47 is the RB rank for him, and you can get him at 145. So super late. Nothing to worry about there. So let's get on to Chance's pick here, and it's Bill. I love this pick. We have nothing but seen this dude, just his ADP skyrocket the last little bit, ever since the trade of Brian Robinson Jr. So Chance, fill us in while I look up his ADP for you.
Okay, so here's where I'm at with Bill. I understand that Bill in this.
We lost you a little bit, Chance. We can barely hear you.
Oh. Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Nope. Now he's on mute.
You're on mute. Yeah, now you're on mute.
Now talk. Dude, he's finagling over there, dude. He's MacGyver in that laptop for sure.
And yes, he is. He is. Nope, he's still on mute here. But while we're going, Bill has been just a fantastic. I watched him go as high as like the 6th round. I was telling you guys in the league we were in, which has been crazy. And I don't think he's been getting. Nope, you're still on mute, Chance. It's still. Oh. Nope, we lost you still. It's okay. He is. He has been. Yeah, you talk when you think you got us, Chance. We'll let you know. But yeah, currently he is 99. He's right before Charbonnet at RB 33.
Yep.
It's wow, right? His and that offense is high powered for them to get rid of Brian Robinson Jr. And let him be the RB1, which it's incredible. I was able to scoop him up a little bit later with RB1 upside. Justin, you?
Yeah, his ADP has gone a little haywire for me a little bit. I've drafted him in a few places just for the meme of it. But like I remember when my first draft, his ADP was 230, and now it is like
correct.
It's like 100 right now, which is like
99 right now. Yeah.
You guys, am I back at all?
Yeah, now you're
there.
Back.
He is. There you go.
Okay. Guys, thanks for covering for me. Of course, just as my hype gets to its max, you lose me. It's just like my energy about this guy blew my own microphone. I'm so sad that we waited to do this episode as long as we did, and we had other things to cover. But again, I wish we would have done this before the rumbling started, before everything started to happen, because again, I have been such a fan of Ja'Cory Bill Krosky-Merritt for a long time. And it's already been talked about, his story, why he wasn't able to play last year. But here's my thing. When you look at a Cliff Kingsbury rushing offense, okay, since 2019, only twice has a Cliff Kingsbury rushing attack finished outside the top 7 for yards per game and most rushing metrics, okay? Only twice it's finished outside of the top 7. Cliff Kingsbury likes to run the ball. And they did not trade Brian Robinson Jr. because of Austin Eckler. They didn't trade Brian Robinson Jr. because of Chris Rodriguez. They didn't trade Brian Robinson Jr. because of Nichols. They traded him because of Bill Krosky-Merritt. Now, Austin Eckler exists, and he's going to get touches. He's going to be good in that offense. But I just think I wish we weren't so late to the party, because I would have told you a month ago, this is a guy to scoop up off of waivers because he's going to be a dude. And he's also, for Dynasty, the only running back on their roster guaranteed to be on their roster in 2026. No other running backs in that whole room are set to be on the roster in 2026. So he's a guy that they have every reason to lean on, to see what they have in him. And one thing that I find really interesting about this running back class, it's talked about all the time about 7th round running backs, 7th round players not really ever having fantasy relevance. And so you're like, oh, Ollie Gordon was a 6th round pick. Krosky Merritt's a 7th round pick. Kyle Monungai's a 7th round pick. These guys typically don't hit. But has there ever been a draft this deep in running back when you have to understand that the league shifted in how they drafted running backs because they knew quality guys would be available late. And now if we get these quality late round guys that show up and show out, we shouldn't be surprised. That's why you scout players. You can look at these players and say, they're good, they deserve to be on the field, and they deserve touches. And I think Krosky Merritt could absolutely be a guy who blows up. I would go get him wherever you feel comfortable getting him because he does have RB1 on that team upside.
Yeah, love it. Well, guys, you guys agree, disagree? I hope you guys enjoyed kind of what we had kind of going here today. Leave a comment for us. I'm super excited about what the information we've given you. Hopefully you'll use that for your draft. I know some of you have already drafted, but use it for trades, especially if you've got a guy that's going to be a bust. Now would be the time to do it before they bust out. So understand that. Before we go today, I just wanted to, this is a little bit of bonus action for us. So Chance, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to 2 questions you have to answer.
Okay.
Number 1, I want a bold prediction for the season. And second, I want to know who will be on the waiver wire. Who will everyone be talking about going after next week? Like, oh boy, we got to get this guy.
Oh, I think my bold prediction, and I don't know how bold it is. I think CMC runs away with the RB1 spot in fantasy this year. I mean, it's not the boldest of predictions, but I would bet my house CMC finishes the season as RB1 on the season.
Perfect. And your waiver wire?
Here's my waiver wire guy. And I just really want the opportunity to talk about this guy because I want to put it out there, right? It's like the Krosky Merritt thing where I didn't get to talk about him early. I think it might not be week 1, but in Dynasty and in redraft, I think before the end of the year, people are going to be picking up LaQuint Allen off of waivers as a running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think LaQuint Allen.
So after week 1?
I don't know if it'll be after week 1. I don't know if it'll be after week 1. But I listen, Matt, I just want to get his name out there. I want to put it in the universe. I know you want a week 1 guy, but I just got to talk about LaQuint. I think that he's a guy as a running back in a deep running back room that might end up really surprising people and being picked up off the waivers sooner than you think. I don't know if it'll be week 1. It might be week 5. But put that name down. That's who I'm going to stick with. I know you want a week 1 guy. I'm giving you a first half of the season guy.
His name, so I can put his
name into the universe.
One more time. Give us his name.
LaQuint Allen, former Syracuse University running back and the RB for the next Bucky Irving. Mark it.
There you go. Hey, big shout out to OG Bobby Johnson. Thanks, man. Appreciate you for on the nice show comment. Want to give you a little recognition there. Always like comments. Yeah, again, if you guys have questions, concerns, whatever, we're here to help you and help you win your fantasy football league. So, Justin, the same 2 questions. Let's start off with your week 1 waiver wire. Who will everybody be talking about next week?
Can I give you 4? I got 4.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Somebody's been doing some thinking quickly.
Make up for my not giving a week 1 guy.
So, I think to go off Chance's point of Bill, I think as a dynasty owner, I would trade him right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there's been realistically 1 7th round running back that is somewhat relevant, and that is Pacheco. I get the talent, all that stuff. I just like the ADP has been a little crazy for me. So I think Chris Rodriguez is going to be a guy that people pick up. I think he's going to get a lot of run. Be interested to see how that happens. I think if Braylon Allen is not on a roster, I think you are absolutely crazy. I think he needs to be on everybody's roster. The fact that Nick Chubb is not looked at as a starting running back right now is a little concerning with his percentage right now, which is 30% right now, which is crazy to me. And then just an underrated signing that I hope does well. He comes over from the Chargers to the Bills, which, I mean, I think that's a pretty significant upgrade in quarterback. I think Josh Palmer could be a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could explode. He could be like Gabe Davis a couple years ago, where Gabe Davis, it just felt like he was just having crazy random games with the Bills where he would just go for like 2 touchdowns and like 150 yards. I think he'll play that Gabe Davis role pretty well as a burner, big guy. So those are 4 waiver wire guys that I have. Bold prediction wise, I think it's a little bit along the lines of last year. I think Matthew Golden and Ibuka both finish higher than Ted, T-Mac, and Travis Hunter.
Nice.
Love it. Love it. I'll give you my bold prediction first. DJ Moore will be a top 10 wide receiver.
Oh!
The ball to him as much as possible. That is bold. I told you I'm going bold. My week 1, hear me out. My week 1, I don't know why people have forgot about him. They traded Tim Patrick, Isaac Tesla. Everybody will be scooping up Isaac Tesla.
There you go, Chance.
Next week, like, oh my gosh, where is he?
I love Isaac.
So good in the offseason. I love it.
I'm a big fan.
Come and get him.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We will be back next week. Again, we'll be pretty much through the week, so that Sunday night-ish, you want to be tuning in so we can get week 2 waiver wires and whatever news and stuff that'll come up. I hope you're super excited for the NFL season. Go out there and win your fantasy football leagues. Let's get started with week 1. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Chance and Justin, appreciate you guys. I don't give you guys enough thanks. But until next time, we will see you next time. We are out of here.